countless times, like, to me, Trump was someone who, he's always searching for a stronger, better word, and he never finds it.
Donald Trump hated Alec Baldwin's impression of him. Week after week on Saturday Night Live, Baldwin's Trump was an exaggerated, pouty, rambling mess. So accurate, it was almost scary. And the more Trump raged about it, the bigger it got. But then, Baldwin delivered the ultimate knockout with just one word. A word that cut through all of Trump's bluster and left him fuming. What was it, and why did it shake Trump so badly?
I want to talk about what is really important, which is jobs, okay? Because I am going to bring back a thick stream of jobs back into this country. The biggest, strongest, steadiest stream you've ever seen. This country will be literally showered with jobs.
It's no secret that Trump loves attention. He craves it. He spent years marketing himself as the ultimate showman, the guy who knew how to dominate the news cycle and keep the world hanging on his every word. But what he didn't anticipate was someone like Alec Baldwin coming along and dismantling him week after week with a single impression. When SNL first approached Baldwin about playing Trump, his immediate reaction was a hard no. He wasn't a fan, sure, but that wasn't even the issue. Trump's voice, mannerisms, and bizarre way of speaking were exhausting. The idea of stepping into that character every week sounded miserable. But then, after some nudging from comedy heavyweights like Tina Fey and Lorne Michaels, he gave in. And boy, did he deliver. Baldwin's Trump wasn't just an impression, it was an exorcism. He locked onto Trump's exaggerated lips, the strange hand movements, the rambling speech patterns, and the overuse of words like tremendous, unbelievable, and many people are saying. He didn't have to create anything new. Trump's real-life speeches already sounded like satire. Baldwin just turned the volume up. The result? It was like watching someone hold up a mirror to the absurdity of Trump's entire persona, and Trump hated it.
Alec to play you. And then I interviewed Alec, and Alec said he's playing you to make your dream come true, is what he said.
Okay, well.
What do you think of his portrayal? And do you have a message for Alec?
Well, I think I'm a much nicer guy than he's portraying. He's portraying somebody who's very mean and nasty, and I'm not mean and nasty.
The first time Baldwin's Trump hit the air, the real Trump was already seething. He ranted about SNL being totally biased, called the show not funny, and even suggested it should be canceled. Now, we all know Trump has a lot of opinions, but the fact that a comedy sketch could get under his skin this much, that was a whole new level of fragility. Every tweet, every meltdown, every time he called Baldwin's portrayal unwatchable only made people more interested. If Trump had just ignored it, maybe it wouldn't have been such a cultural event. But because he couldn't let it go, Baldwin's impersonation became even bigger, turning into a national obsession.
Alex Baldwin, whose dying, mediocre career was saved by his impersonation of me on SNL, now saying playing DJT was agony for him. Alex, it was also agony for those who were forced to watch. You were terrible. Bring back Darrell Hammond, much funnier and a far greater talent.
Each week, Baldwin's version of Trump got more exaggerated. The pout got tighter, the voice got more erratic, the hand gestures more ridiculous, and the nonsense rants became even funnier. And each time, Trump lost it all over again, furiously ranting on Twitter and demanding SNL be canceled. But then, Baldwin delivered the ultimate blow, a moment so brutal, so cutting, that it left Trump reeling. In an interview, Baldwin was asked about Trump's never-ending tantrum over the impression. He could have gone off on a long, thoughtful answer about political satire or the role of comedy in holding power accountable. Instead, he summed it all up in one word: psychotic. That was it. One single word that cut through all of Trump's bluster, all the angry tweets, all the empty bravado. It wasn't just an insult, it was a diagnosis.
Who he is. And I've said this countless times, like, to me, Trump was someone who, he's always searching for a stronger, better word, and he never finds it. So whenever you do Trump, he'll sit there and go, these people, they're great people, they're fantastic people, and I just want to say working with them was...
Trump has been called a lot of things: narcissistic, delusional, unstable. But psychotic? That was the kind of word that sticks. It wasn't just about the impression anymore, it was about the way Trump reacted to it. The obsessive tweeting, the all-consuming outrage, the fact that he, the sitting president of the United States, was waging war against a comedian for daring to make fun of him. And, as expected, Trump lost his mind over it. The tweets came flying in. The anger was palpable, but there was nothing he could do to undo it. Baldwin had said it, and it was out there. And, let's be honest, it was probably what half the country was already thinking.
Alec Baldwin, loser. Loser.
Alec Baldwin has a new movie out.
Really
He's coming out with a
horrible
new
movie,
series.
mediocre career.
Does he like tweet throughout the day, or is it like a big binge thing? Is it like a
I don't
camel?
know.
Like it's like an oasis. He like drinks a big long drink in the morning and he goes on.
At some point, something strange started to happen. Baldwin's version of Trump was so spot on that people started hearing his voice whenever Trump spoke. His exaggerated mannerisms, the weird puckered lips, the bizarre speech patterns. It was like Baldwin had become Trump in the public imagination. People who didn't even watch SNL could recognize the impression. It was everywhere: memes, political discussions, even campaign ads. Baldwin wasn't just making fun of Trump anymore, he was shaping how people saw him. And that's what drove Trump up the wall. Trump's entire persona is built on image. He wants to be seen as the smartest, the strongest, the ultimate winner. But Baldwin stripped all of that away. He exposed the insecurity, the incoherence, the ridiculousness. And worst of all, people loved it. They laughed at Baldwin's Trump, shared the clips, and quoted his exaggerated lines until they blurred with reality. Trump's reactions to Baldwin became more desperate. He said SNL should be investigated, claiming it was out to get him. He called the show one-sided and terrible for America. He insisted that Baldwin's impression was inaccurate, even though everyone could see how eerily close it was to reality. His frustration grew, and so did his obsession. It was a full-blown meltdown happening in real time as millions watched him lose control over something as simple as a comedy sketch.
China, Japan, Wakanda, okay? Wakanda is laughing at us, right? They've got flying cars, people in Wakanda. That's why I announced these steel and aluminum tariffs this week. People are going nuts about it. I brought back the steel industry by destroying the auto industry and tanking the stock market. Impressive.
There you go, Baldwin as Trump there talking about the tariffs.
By the time Trump left office, Baldwin was ready to be done. Playing Trump had become exhausting. He wasn't just making jokes, he had become part of the political discourse. The sketch that started as a lighthearted parody had turned into a cultural phenomenon, and Baldwin was at the center of it. He admitted that playing Trump took a toll. It wasn't just about putting on a wig and an orange spray tan, it was about stepping into the mind of someone who was erratic, obsessed with power, and incapable of self-reflection. After 4 years, Baldwin was ready to walk away. But the damage had already been done. Trump's presidency was marked by scandals, impeachments, and non-stop controversy. But when history looks back at how the media shaped public perception of him, Baldwin's SNL impression will be one of the defining images. It cemented Trump as a figure of ridicule, someone who couldn't take a joke, someone who spent actual time as President of the United States worrying about a late-night comedy show. It was the perfect response to a man who thrived on chaos, who couldn't stand being mocked, and who had built his entire identity on the idea that he was always in control. Baldwin said what millions were thinking, and there was nothing Trump could do to stop it. No angry tweet, no public meltdown, and no demand to shut down SNL could undo the damage. The words stuck. In the end, the real Trump may have had the power, the platform, and the presidency. But Baldwin had the last laugh, leaving behind a parody so brutal that it became part of history. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.